The Big Lebowski. I have no idea why I didn't watch this movie sooner. So what I'm trying to start doing is just going back through some classics, or some cult classics that I've not seen before. And this one came up, me and a few of my friends decided to watch it, they hadn't seen it either. And I was blown away by this. Looking at the photos for it, no idea what this film was about. I've heard this name being thrown around forever. As soon as I can remember movies and having conversations, certainly around comedies, I've heard this name getting thrown around. It's always been one I've known about. Any photos I see, obviously you have Jeff Bridges looking so shaggy, and they're in a bowling alley. So my naive mind just thought it was some bowling movie. Nah, it'll be okay. I don't know why it's as big as it is. I will say I miss movies like this. I really do. And what I mean is movies that you cannot sum up in 1 or 2 sentences as a plot. You know, you start this one off, they say someone pees on his rug, which is a ridiculous statement in itself. It just keeps going. It keeps changing up. Like, this is essentially an adventure movie. So I want to say first off, every single person in here was unbelievable, but I do have to just put it out there to John Goodman, who just killed me in he stole every single scene he was in. And true story, we were watching the movie, we were looking up a drinking game to play along with it and reading through the rules of it. Got to one of the rules that we need to finish our drink when Donnie dies. My friend was reading the list out in real time as he was reading it. He was reading it aloud, and we all knew this was coming up. But even knowing that this was coming up in the movie, one, you kind of forgot about it, the way this kept just going in different routes and tangents all through it. But two, it was so unexpected. The way it came about, and it was hilarious how it came about. This is hands down one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. How Jeff Bridges, or the dude, just navigates every circumstance, and the plot just gets deeper and deeper. He goes to get his rug back because somebody of the same name was getting hunted. And that rug really tied that room together. I think we can agree on that.
That rug really tied the room together, did it not?
Fucking A.
This guy peed on it.
Donnie, please.
And then you've got Nihilus getting involved, you've got the other Lebowski's wife going missing, and there's a whole issue of, is she or isn't she actually missing throughout the entire movie. You've got White Russians in this movie. What I liked is how those moments that they were just sitting in the bowling ring, or they're in their car, or they were any situation where it just had a bit of downtime, and the dialogue in here was absolutely spot on. Every character was really well developed. Even though looking back, John Goodman in it, he's a Jewish convert, you know, gun-loving veteran with anger issues, and that really sums up his character. But it never stopped being funny. They used him sparingly, and also any chance they could, which I know sounds quite weird, but watching the movie, it makes perfect sense. He just perfectly delivers every single line in this film. You've got Donnie, or Steve Buscemi, he's just the punching bag of the three, which again was great to see, because it didn't look like any of it bothered him. He would just accepted it. So whether that's been going on for years or he's just a bit of an idiot is great. And any time he would come out of a situation, you just knew he was going to immediately fall into another situation. You know, he leaves Lebowski's house, and then there's someone following them, and then maybe the Nihilists, they pick him up because they have their own agenda. And it seems like throughout the whole movie, what he's doing on this bigger situation is just putting plasters down. You know, he's not fixing any situation, he's doing a quick fix and trying to move on just to get out of it and sort his own issues first. Movies aren't made like this anymore, I don't think. If I'm wrong, and there's a very recent film, as good as this, should I say as well, they can be done like it but not well. A movie where there isn't one overarching plot, where story leads into another story beat, and it just continues like this adventure, where if you even stop and go to the bathroom during this movie, you're going to not understand it. You could be there for 2 minutes and you will miss, no doubt, some turn that the movie's taken and have no clue where it's going next. And his confusion throughout the whole film summed me up perfectly, because I had no idea what was going on. That's what made it. You just didn't know where it was going to go next. You didn't know what the real agendas were, what the truth was, why all these parties were getting involved, because there was always someone else at his door just to fuck up his day. And Jeff Bridges just goes with it. He just clearly cannot be fucked. His performance was great. All the side characters are phenomenal in it. The late and great Philip Seymour Hoffman was fantastic. You had Jesus. I think he was in it for 2 scenes in both of those. He was fantastic. Didn't expect him when he came in the first scene at all as a character, and then the second scene, he's not necessary. You could lift him out and the movie would be the exact same running wise, but it would lose that little touch of just the world of these characters and who they run across. And this has to be one of the comfiest looking roles that I've ever seen. Jeff Bridges is consistently just within pyjamas, joggy bottoms, something like that, and it just looks great. At no point does he look like he's ever straining himself or putting out really any energy. When the film comes back to the bowling alley, it's like their safe space. You take a breather in the movie. You know it's going to be funny, and secondly, the characters can kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit and just have that chat. John Goodman, no doubt, is going to blow up at somebody because he just keeps talking about Vietnam. And that scene, that entire scene with Larry has got to be the highlight of the movie for me. It is unbelievable. Seeing it escalate as quickly as it does, because for how nothing really happens in the scene and it just keeps escalating with stone-faced Larry there who's giving nothing away, and John Goodman just sells every single moment of it. I'm not for numerical rating systems. Make time for this movie. That's where I'm landing on this one. This was based on a real guy, which I had no idea of. There was a guy called The Dude. The movie is very fictional, which has been said. I didn't realise a couple of the key points were true. One, the Larry scene, well, not the whole scene, but certainly the steps leading up to Larry is how they found him. That's true. Being called The Dude, because the real guy's last name was Dowd, I think, so it was a spin on that. The most iconic line I'd say in the movie was, "The rug really brings that room together." That is something that the real Lebowski had said to the Coen brothers, apparently. The Coen brothers had went to see the Dowd to just chat with him, get to learn some stories, but he kept interrupting either the Coen brothers or himself and just asking them if they think that that rug really brings the room together, and it just stuck. I appreciate you taking a minute to watch this. If you've got any thoughts, anything else, any movies that you would like me to watch in the future potentially, let me know. I'll get round to it and I'll fit it in. But that being said, thanks for watching.